Days of Our Lives per June 9th episode. A wave of emotions and unexpected revelations promises to shake the foundations of their lives. From a tearful farewell to a beloved patriarch to a scandalous secret shared between old friends, the day is set to be one of profound loss and surprising twists. A town in mourning. John Black's final goodbye. The air in Salem feels heavier than usual as the town prepares to bid farewell to one of its most cherished figures, John Black. His passing has left a void that seems impossible to fill, especially for his devoted wife, Marlena Evans. Marlena, a pillar of strength for so many, now finds herself grappling with a storm of emotions. The loss of John, her partner through countless trials and triumphs, has shaken her to her core. Yet, even in her grief, Marlena's resilience shines through. She leans on the love of her family and friends who rally around her as the day of John's funeral approaches. The funeral promises to be a deeply moving event, with Salem's residents coming together to honor a man who touched so many lives. From his unwavering loyalty to his family to his courage in the face of danger, John's legacy is one of love and strength. For Marlena, the day will be a test of endurance. She must navigate her sorrow while surrounded by memories of the life she built with John. Her children, friends, and neighbors will stand by her side, offering comfort in a time of unimaginable loss. The question on everyone's mind is how Marlena will carry on without her soulmate. But those closest to her are determined to help her find a path forward. Whispers of news. Steve and Kayla's moment of truth as the town prepares for the funeral. Steve Johnson, known for his rugged charm and quick wit, has something important to share with his wife, Kayla. Their bond, forged through years of love and adversity, makes them one of Salem's most enduring couples. Steve's news, delivered in the quiet moments before the funeral, carries weight. Could it be related to John's passing, shedding light on the circumstances of his final days? Or might it tie to another of Salem's ongoing mysteries, such as Bo Brady's slow recovery from his own brush with fate? Whatever the news, it's sure to ripple through their lives, adding another layer of complexity to an already emotional day. Kayla, ever the compassionate listener, will take in Steve's words with her characteristic grace. Their conversation, though brief, will underscore the strength of their partnership. In a town where secrets often unravel with dramatic consequences, Steve and Kayla's ability to face challenges together is a beacon of hope. As they prepare to join the community in mourning, this moment of connection will remind them and viewers of the power of love in the face of uncertainty. A father's comfort. Brady and Rachel's heartfelt bond. For young Rachel Black, John's passing is a devastating blow. At her tender age, she has already faced more than her share of upheaval, and the loss of her grandfather cuts deep. Her father, Brady Black, steps into the role of comforter, determined to help his daughter navigate her grief. Brady, no stranger to loss himself, knows the pain of saying goodbye to someone you love. His heart aches for Rachel, whose small shoulders carry the weight of this tragedy. In a quiet moment, Brady sits with Rachel, offering words of love and reassurance. He reminds her of the happy times she shared with John. The way his eyes lit up when he saw her, the stories he told, the laughter they shared. Brady's goal is simple but profound: to help Rachel hold onto the love she felt for her grandfather even as she mourns his absence. Their bond, strengthened by this shared sorrow, is a testament to the power of family. For Brady, being there for Rachel is not just a duty but a privilege, a chance to show her that love endures even in the darkest times. A secret revealed. Ari and Tate's shocking conversation. While the town mourns, a different kind of drama unfolds between two young friends, Ari Horton and Tate Black. Ari and Tate, connected by their shared history and the bonds of Salem's younger generation, find solace in each other's company. Their friendship, much like Ari's with Holly Jonas, is built on years of shared memories and mutual understanding. On this day, as they reflect on John's passing, their conversation takes an unexpected turn. Ari, with a mix of nervousness and excitement, confides in Tate about a secret that catches him off guard. She reveals that she recently spent a passionate night with Doug Williams III, a revelation that leaves Tate stunned. The details of their encounter are scandalous enough to raise eyebrows in Salem, a town no stranger to romantic entanglements. Ari, clearly smitten, admits she's eager for another rendezvous with Doug, her words tinged with the thrill of forbidden attraction. For Tate, the news is a lot to process. Doug's reputation and Ari's boldness create a complicated web, and Tate must decide how to handle this bombshell. The revelation puts Tate in a delicate position. Should he share Ari's secret with Holly, his close friend and confidant? Holly, who shares a history with both Ari and Tate, might have her own feelings about this development. Tate's loyalty to his friends is tested as he weighs the consequences of keeping or sharing Ari's confidence. In Salem, secrets have a way of coming to light, often with dramatic results. As Tate grapples with his decision, viewers can expect tension, surprises, and perhaps a few heated confrontations in the days to come. A brother's reassurance. Eric and Roman's heart-to-heart. Elsewhere in Salem, Eric Brady is wrestling with his own concerns. John's passing has left him reflecting on the fragility of life and the impact of loss on those he loves. His thoughts turn to Marlena, whose strength he admires but whose pain he feels deeply. Eric worries about how his mother will cope without John, the man who has been her rock for so long. In a moment of vulnerability, Eric turns to his father, Roman Brady, for guidance. Roman, with his warm, steady presence, offers Eric the reassurance he needs. He reminds his son that Marlena is surrounded by love, her children, her friends, and the entire Salem community. Roman's words are a reminder that grief, though heavy, is not born alone. Together, they reflect on John's life, his love for Marlena, and the legacy he leaves behind. This father-son moment is a quiet but powerful reminder of the ties that bind Salem's families, even in the face of sorrow. Salem's heartbeat. A community united as Monday, June 9th, unfolds. Days of Our Lives delivers a tapestry of emotions, grief, love, and the thrill of secrets revealed. The residents of Salem, from Marlena to Tate, navigate their personal struggles while leaning on the community that holds them together. John's funeral will be a poignant centerpiece, a moment for the town to honor a man who meant so much to so many. Yet, even in their mourning, the people of Salem find ways to connect, to comfort, and to carry on. Letting go at Horton House, the setting sun bathed the living room in a warm, golden glow as Jennifer sat across from Jack, her hands trembling slightly as she relayed the troubling news. She had just learned that Chad had gone skydiving with none other than Kat Green, the woman who had caused them all so much pain in the past. Jennifer's voice was filled with a mix of frustration and disbelief as she described the reckless adventure. Chad, in her mind, had been manipulated once again. "He went skydiving with Kat Green," Jennifer muttered, her tone heavy with the weight of the revelation. "That woman has done enough damage to this family. I won't let her manipulate him anymore." Jack sat back, a stern frown etched across his face as he processed Jennifer's words. He had his own deep reservations about Kat and her role in their lives. But there was a deeper layer to Chad's actions that weighed on him. What Kat did to us, to our family. "It's inexcusable," Jack agreed, his voice tight. But then his gaze softened and he looked at Jennifer with a mixture of compassion and sorrow. "But Chad is grieving. He's been alone for so long now. Losing Abigail, it's something he will never get over." Jennifer's heart ached at the mention of their beloved Abigail. The pain of her loss still felt fresh, as though the wound hadn't fully healed even though nearly 3 years had passed. "I know, Jack," Jennifer whispered, her eyes glassy with unshed tears. "But that doesn't mean he should let Kat into his life. If he ever felt something for her when she pretended to be Abigail, it makes me sick to think that some part of him still believes she could be a replacement for her." Jack nodded in understanding, but his mind wandered to another thought. He knew that Kat's presence in Chad's life was toxic, but he also knew the twisted hand that had pushed her into their world. "Clyde," Jack murmured, his voice low and full of resentment. "He's the one behind all the suffering. If it weren't for him, none of this would have happened." Jennifer's face tightened at the mention of Clyde Weston, the man whose manipulative ways had torn their family apart. "He's the one who orchestrated this mess," she said bitterly, her fists clenched. "I won't ever forgive him for what he's done to us." They sat in silence for a long moment, both lost in their thoughts. Jennifer's mind wandered back to Abigail, and she felt an overwhelming wave of sorrow. "Jack, I know in my heart that Abigail is gone. I can feel it. Her spirit is telling me that she's at peace. We can't keep holding on to a hope that isn't realistic. Not anymore." Her voice broke as she spoke, the grief too much to contain. Jack reached across the table and took Jennifer's hand in his, squeezing it gently. I know, Jen. It's been almost 3 years. We can't live in the past forever. We have to keep moving forward for ourselves and for Chad. He has to find a way to move on too. Jennifer wiped away a tear, nodding in agreement, but there was a flicker of concern in her eyes. I just don't want him moving on with Kat Green, she said, her voice firm. I won't allow it. She's toxic, Jack. She's hurt us all so much. I know, Jack said softly, his expression grave. But he's not going to listen to us. Not while he's still so lost. He stood, walking to the window and staring out at the horizon as the light faded from the sky. I wish it were different. I wish he could see what we see. Later that afternoon, at the skydiving base, Chad stood with a mix of apprehension and excitement. His heart was pounding in his chest as the instructor explained the necessary safety measures and went over the liability forms. Chad couldn't shake the feeling that something wasn't right, but Kat was by his side, offering support in her own way even if it was still tainted by the past. As the instructor wrapped up his spiel, Chad's nerves began to build. The instructor's calm, monotone delivery did little to ease his anxiety. But Kat's presence was oddly comforting. She had been there for him when he needed someone the most, even if he couldn't quite reconcile his feelings for her. The skydiving experience itself was exhilarating. After jumping out of the plane and soaring through the clouds, Chad felt a fleeting sense of freedom. For a moment, he was no longer weighed down by the crushing grief of losing Abigail. The wind in his face, the rush of adrenaline, it was a brief escape from the pain that haunted him daily. But when he landed, the reality set back in. His ankle throbbed painfully from the hard landing, and the instructor's unhelpful comment about the next landing being in an L shape only added to his frustration. Kat helped him to his feet, her arm steady around his shoulder as she supported him. You did great, she said, her voice full of encouragement even if her smile didn't quite reach her eyes. Chad's exhaustion was evident, but despite the physical discomfort, there was something about the moment that felt right. I really did have a great time, Chad admitted, feeling a strange sense of peace. Up there, it was just me and the sky. I felt free. With Chad leaning on her for support, Kat helped him back to the Horton house, her eyes darting nervously as they approached. She knew that Jennifer and Jack would not be pleased to see her, but she was determined to help Chad even if it meant enduring their scorn. The moment they stepped into the living room, Jennifer's gaze turned icy. Her eyes narrowed as she took in the sight of Kat helping Chad. Without missing a beat, she stood up and addressed Kat in a voice that brooked no argument. I want you to leave. Now, Jennifer demanded, her tone sharp and unwavering. Kat, though taken aback, simply nodded and turned to leave, her shoulders sagging under the weight of their rejection. As she walked out, Jennifer's gaze fixed on Chad with a mixture of disappointment and concern. Chad? What are you doing? Spending time with the woman who hurt our family so much. Chad winced at his mother's words, his heart heavy with guilt. I'm sorry, Mom. I didn't mean for this to hurt you. Jennifer shook her head, her expression softening slightly. I'm just glad the kids weren't here to see this. Kat Green has no place in our lives, especially not after everything she's done. As Kat left, Jennifer turned to Jack, her face etched with concern. We can't keep letting this happen. Chad needs to understand that moving on with Kat is not the answer. Later that evening, Chad sat alone in the silence of the Horton house, his mind racing. He couldn't shake the feeling that he was caught in a web of his own making. He had hoped that a simple apology would mend things with Kat, but as he dialed her number, he realized that it was too late. Kat, I'm sorry, he said quietly into the phone. I never meant for things to get so complicated. I just don't know what to do anymore. Kat's voice was soft and resigned on the other end. I understand, Chad. Jack and Jennifer have every right to hate me. I'll stay away, I promise. I don't want to cause you any more trouble. And with that, the phone call ended, leaving Chad to reflect on the tangled mess of his emotions. His heart was torn between the past he couldn't let go of and the future that seemed so uncertain. One thing was clear, he couldn't keep living in the shadow of the past. But moving forward was harder than it seemed.